This is Rex's story. Have you ever imagined how a massive German Shepherd could become something soft, gentle, and miraculous in the life of a tiny child? When I met Rex for the first time, his body cast a massive shadow on the floor. But there was softness in that size. He seemed more like a plush toy than a protector. And when you looked into his eyes, you saw the innocence of a baby's first glance, the depth of unconditional love. Samuel, still learning to walk, was a small miracle himself. And the first time they shared a room, everything went quiet. One, a giant protector. The other, a fragile soul taking his first steps. Yet between them, a silent bond was already growing deeper than words could ever reach. Rex's large paws moved slowly across the room as Samuel giggled and reached for him. He lowered his head gently, watching with patience and clarity. And suddenly, the house felt still, like nothing else mattered except the quiet sound of two beating hearts finding rhythm together. As Samuel wobbled with wonder, Rex stayed near, never pushing, never towering, just watching like a living angel. On one early morning, Samuel slipped on the carpet. He stumbled fast, but Rex's instincts moved faster. He slid his large frame under the falling baby, a soft shield of loyalty. When Samuel opened his eyes, he smiled, pulled himself up using Rex's soft fur, and laughed. And at that moment, I knew this wasn't just a dog. This was a guardian in disguise. Their story only grew from there. Each morning, when Samuel opened his eyes, his very first word was always the same. He asked for Rex. Rex, who stood beside Samuel's crib while the world slept. Rex, who waited through the night to be the first one seen. When a biscuit fell from the breakfast table, Rex was there immediately, silently assisting. And Samuel, small hands clapping in delight, responded with laughter. There was harmony in their dance, a gentle rhythm only they could understand. They'd move to the living room, watch cartoons together. Samuel would stroke Rex's ears, fall asleep on his fur, wrap his arms around his tail with trust. And Rex would remain still and quiet, a giant choosing gentleness, again and again. This was no accident. This was love, real, honest, unspoken. Samuel sometimes whispered that Rex was his brother, and in return, Rex would lay near him with a stillness. And somehow, you understood that those two were sharing something the world rarely gets to see. As the sun set one evening, Samuel drifted off on a chair, and Rex came close. He used his huge body like a blanket, a 150-pound heart, guarding something far more delicate. That night, as tears rolled down Samuel's cheeks mid-dream, Rex shifted closer. Breath steady, fur warm. He placed his face near the boy's, and Samuel calmed instantly, grabbing hold of Rex's nose, like safety. Together, they slept on. Two lives intertwined. A protector, not of things, but of moments, of silence, of peace. But even fairy tales face the world. One day, during a walk, Samuel's hands wrapped tightly around Rex's fur. Someone on the street looked and judged. They shouted fear, said Rex was a monster. Samuel froze, unsure, but love stood taller than fear. Rex remained steady, resting his head on the child's shoulder. And just like that, the moment was saved. Not with words, but presence. A German Shepherd is one of the most loyal, innocent, and protective dogs you'll ever meet. But too often, the fear of appearance blurs the truth of character. Behind 150 pounds of strength can live a heart more pure than most could ever understand. And in those seconds, you might miss the miracle if all you see is the mass and not the love. The next day at the park, another stranger questioned the safety, but Samuel didn't answer with fear. Instead, he hugged Rex tightly, as if to tell the world, "This is my peace." That's what monsters don't look like. Sometimes the biggest love is carried on the strongest shoulders. Sometimes a child's entire world rests in the paws of a creature we were taught to fear. But there came a moment during that walk when the noise faded and no one questioned anymore. Everyone saw it. That bond, that silence, that trust. They finally understood. Love isn't a word, it's an action. It's a breath, a pause, a presence. And Rex wasn't just a dog anymore. He was a brother, a guardian, a heartbeat beside a baby's dream, more than a friend. He became a piece of that small boy's life story. Some people still feel fear. Others find inspiration. But what about you? Can you see past the size, past the breed, past the noise? The answer might be hiding in Samuel's smile. Maybe your heart is already changing. And if you've stayed with us this far, perhaps you believe, like we do, that sometimes it's the unexpected stories that contain the most miraculous truths. So, what about your miracle? What's your story? If you hold it close, it might fade. But share it, and it could change the world. Just like Samuel, just like Rex, just like two hearts learning to love beyond fear. And that was today's story. A story that reminds us that love, kindness, and compassion are never wasted. If this touched your heart, take a moment to give it a like and share it with someone who believes animals deserve love too. Because every animal carries a story. Some are painful, others are full of hope, but all of them deserve to be heard. Our love for animals makes the world warmer, brighter, and more beautiful. So until the next story, stay kind, stay inspired, and never forget to take care of yourself and take care of your animal friends.